to the mineralocorticoids. The mineralocorticoids are the corticosteroids that act on the minerals, that is electrolytes, particularly sodium and potassium. The mineralocorticoids include aldosterone and 11-deoxycortisone. The cheap mineralocorticoid is aldosterone. The aldosterone performs about 90% of the mineralocorticoid activity. Okay, so the aldosterone is a very essential for life, and it is called as life-saving hormone. Glucocorticoids are life protecting and mineralocorticoid life saving hormone. So like many other steroids, aldosterone binds to a cytoplasmic receptor. The glucocorticoids binds to a receptor that is called as glucocorticoid receptor. This aldosterone binds to a cytoplasmic receptor and forms a complex that moves inside the nucleus, and their transcription takes place. So when transcription takes place, there is production of proteins that alter the cell function. Okay, the aldosterone stimulated proteins have two effects. One is a rapid effect to increase the activity of epithelial sodium channels by increasing the insertion of these channels into the cell membrane, and a slower effect to increase the synthesis of epithelial sodium channels, that is known as ENaCs. Okay, now the aldosterone, as in brief, it has two main physiological roles. That is, the aldosterone increases sodium absorption in distal renal tubules, salivary glands, and GI, that is colon, and increases the renal excretion of potassium. So, the aldosterone is secreted in response to high extracellular potassium level, low level extracellular sodium level, and low fluid levels and blood volume. So, three important functions of aldosterone is increase the resorption of sodium from renal tubules, increase the excretion of potassium through renal tubules, and increase the secretion of hydrogen ions into tubules. So, in its effect on sweat glands, salivary glands, and colon, in these glands, it secretes large amount of sodium chloride. Aldosterone decreases the loss of sodium and chloride in sweat, and aldosterone stimulates sodium resorption from colon while enhancing the potassium excretion. And the secondary effects of aldosterone are its effect on plasma potassium concentration. So, when there is an aldosterone excess, there will be decrease in the plasma potassium. That is due to increased urinary excretion of potassium. Okay, and its effect on sodium level, when there is some aldosterone excess, there will be increase in the sodium absorption. So in general, the aldosterone has effects on sodium and potassium. That is, it has a main action on the absorption of sodium in distal renal tubules, salivary glands, and GI, and it promotes renal excretion of potassium. So this is aldosterone escape. It refers to escape of the kidney from salt retaining effects of excess administration or secretion of aldosterone in the case of primary hyperaldosteronism. Primary hyperaldosteronism is nothing but it is the overactivity of the aldosterone. So, when there is increased level of aldosterone, there is more retention of sodium and water from the renal tubules. This leads to increase in ECF volume, which in turn leads to increased arterial blood pressure. So, this increase in arterial blood pressure causes release of arterial, that is ANP, BNP, CNP from cardiac muscle, and pressure diuresis, that is excretion of excess salt and water by high blood pressure. Okay, so what happens? Because of this, there is excretion of sodium and water through urine, and there is decrease in ECF. This is known as aldosterone escape. The significance of aldosterone escape is when aldosterone secretion is decreased or absent, very large amount of salt is lost in the urine. It decreases the content of salt and water in ECF, resulting in severe dehydration and low blood volume. So the low blood volume leads to circulatory shock. If treatment is not given immediately, dehydration leads to death within few days. This aldosterone escape is very important, and you need to write about the significance of aldosterone escape also. Then the regulation of aldosterone secretion. Aldosterone secretion is controlled by following factors, that is renin-angiotensin system. So this is the regulation of aldosterone secretion by renin-angiotensin system. You can see when there is dehydration or sodium deficiency or hemorrhage, there will be decrease in the blood volume and decrease in the blood pressure. This decrease in the blood pressure stimulates the juxtaglomerular cells of kidney to produce renin. This increased renin with the help of angiotensinogen is converted into angiotensin 1. That is, increased angiotensin 1 is produced. This angiotensin 1, with the help of enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme, it gets converted into angiotensin 2. This angiotensin 2 causes the adrenal cortex to produce increased aldosterone, and in turn in kidney increase sodium and water reabsorption and increase secretion of potassium and H plus takes place. This leads to increased blood volume and blood pressure is retained. This is how the regulation of aldosterone is taking place by renin-angiotensin system. So these are the steps involved in secretion of aldosterone by renin-angiotensin system. Decrease in ACF volume leads to decrease in renal arterial blood flow. Decrease in renal perfusion causes JG cells to secrete renin. This renin catalyzes the conversion of angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. It is converted to angiotensin 2 by ACE. Factors which affect aldosterone secretion is sympathetic neural activity, local prostaglandin, and arterial natriuretic peptide. So the role of plasma potassium concentration is when there is an increased level of potassium, that is hyperkalemia, it stimulates the adrenal cortex to produce increased aldosterone secretion. This increased aldosterone secretions promotes increased potassium excretion, and there will be low levels of potassium in the blood. Okay, this is only how it acts. This low level of blood potassium in the blood has negative feedback on the aldosterone secretion by the adrenal cortex. And the role of ACTH is this, as we have seen earlier, the ACTH has mild mineralocorticoid effect, but it is mild and transient. Moving on to the applied aspects, you have hyperaldosteronism. It refers to overproduction of hormone aldosterone. Primary hyperaldosteronism, it is known as Conn's disease, and secondary hyperaldosteronism. So primary hyperaldosteronism occurs due to tumor or hyperplasia of the zona glomerulosa. Secondary hyperaldosteronism occurs due to some extra adrenal cause which stimulates renin-angiotensin aldosterone system. Example, cirrhosis of liver, nephrotic syndrome. And clinical features, sodium and water retention, hypokalemia, and metabolic causes. So in hyperaldosteronism, the hormone aldosterone is produced in excess, so there will be sodium and water retention, and excretion of potassium is reduced. So you will have hypokalemia. So sorry, there is increased excretion of potassium and the blood potassium is reduced, so you will have hypokalemia. A small thing about the adrenal sex hormones. The adrenal sex steroids are produced from the zona reticularis are dehydroepiandrosterone, androstenedione, testosterone. So the most abundant is dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate, and most important enzyme is 1720 lyase activity and 17 hydroxylase. Secretion of sex steroids are under the control of ACTH.